This is probably going to be the only time you guys see me play Fae, but hey, yo, what is going on, guys? Cash and Clean here. I just wanted to show you guys something cool that a great Trovian once told me, and you know, you guys need to find yourself some great Trovians as well. There's a lot out there, but there's one very knowledgeable Trovian that told me something specific about this area with the mana stuff. So usually when you talk about the mana stuff, it's kind of like useless mastery. There's not really like a whole lot to it. It's pretty pointless, like you don't really get anything out of it, but there's two important things to get from here, and I would say that it's pretty important to do. So first things first, I kind of showed you how to get in here. So basically what you want to do is go to this guy over here. I'm at the hub, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. So just go to this guy, claim your dailies on these wild Trovian manas, and then if you can, claim your mana maximizers. These won't be daily, but these are. The wild Trovian manas are going to be super important because something that you do want to get is this specific potion over here, the flask capacity. Now you guys might be wondering, isn't the damage one better? Well, no, not really, because it's only 1%. And the thing with flasks is that you're going to be constantly doing more damage the more flasks that you have. Because if you didn't know, a lot of your damage is going to come from the martial and arcane emblem, and this is going to deal 250%. So this is a lot better than the 1% buff that you're going to get from this. And sure, your flasks could reset, so you might get extra damage, but if you're trying to do delves or something very specific and the enemies are pretty difficult, so like if you're doing the depths delve, for example, having the 3 extra flasks are going to be super helpful. And if you guys haven't already, I recommend doing my star chart guide, where I basically go over most of the flask capacity areas. And what you want to do is prioritize that, because the more flasks you have, like I said, you're going to do a ton more damage, you're going to have more of a chance for them to refill, so that means you can constantly dish out more damage. And the cool thing about these potions is that they're not super difficult to craft or anything. You will need the wild Trovian mana, and it's something that you can just passively farm for. So if you go for the dailies, you can get 1,000 per day. And you don't even have to get that far into the bench, you just have to complete the first area, so just get 50 levels, and then you'll have flask capacity here, just in case you don't know how to get the potion. I've already made a guide talking about all of this stuff, but I'll just briefly go over it. So what you want to do is go over here, craft this, and once you do, it's going to go into your inventory, just equip it so it goes into your auto use spot. And then what you want to do is go over here to craft this. It's not going to be super expensive, it's pretty doable to get all of this stuff. And then once you craft it, you want to go over here, and then it'll show up. It's going to be like a little recipe thing here that you have to craft. And I would show you, but I already have it, so it's not going to show up for me. Basically, you'll have a thing that you can craft here, and then once you craft it, you want to back out of that, press L to claim the little recipe thing that it says, and then when you go back into potions, and then it's just going to be there. So it lasts for 4 hours. That's pretty much like your average Trovian. They're going to farm for maybe 4 hours, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less. It kind of depends. And the cool thing is that if you log off after 1 hour of playing, you'll still have the remaining 3 hours the next time you log back on. And one more thing to note, so this is the potion of flask capacity. As you can see here, you can actually list them on the market. Now, in terms of making flux from this, you're probably going to have a difficult time selling them, but I want to bring this attention to you guys because you guys can actually use this potion. If you're just casually farming, you have the Conjurer's Vial, you have a ton of magic find, it's probably not going to come in handy as much. But if you're farming other things like the Longshade area, for example, or like I mentioned, high depth delves and just delves in general, the flasks are going to be handy, and you're going to want to try to get your hands on either the arcane or martial emblem depending on which class that you're playing. And they're also not super difficult to get, so if you go over to the Moore's tab, it's going to be over here for 10,000 cubits. I already have it unlocked, so it's not going to show. And that's basically it that I wanted to talk about, just that amazing potion. And like I mentioned, shoutouts to the great Trovian that told me about this. Here's a little hint on who the great Trovian is. But anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back. And like always, thank you all so much for listening, watching, viewing, and subscribing. And I will talk to you all later.